Ok, bienvenidos de regreso a en clase de lo que les platiqué de este estudio que vamos a comenzar. Vamos a estar viendo ahora 3 líderes que demostraron y pelearon y eran famosos maestros y maestras que que nos ayudaron a todos para que tengamos libertad. Comenzando con este pastor evangélico del Martin Luther King Jr., que les voy a estar enseñándoles voy a platicar tres partes y cada parte va a tener un video devocional, de un líder, y les voy a darles unas frases que ellos se les queda para que los recordemos a cada uno de estos líderes que vamos a ver ahora. Y después voy a darles vamos a comenzar el estudio. Y ojalá que no se me aburran o se me vayan, pero esto ha sido muy importante porque hemos vivido en un mundo que ya se ven que todos nos hemos apartado de Dios, que no hemos llevado nuestras vidas conforme a lo que Él nos ha mandado, cómo vivamos. Perdón, es que ahorita estoy como un poco algo nervioso, pero se me tiene que pasar, pero por eso oré que me guíe el Espíritu Santo para que pueda darles este estudio como Él quiere que yo lo dé. Entonces comencemos y vamos a orar en el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. Padre celestial y Padre eterno, guíanos y enséñanos de lo que quieres que nosotros aprendamos y veamos y escuchemos o leamos de este estudio que comenzaremos ahora, que vamos a durar en este estudio 4 semanas. Gracias te damos y te pedimos que nos apartes de todas de nuestras preocupaciones, de todo lo que nos hemos vivido. Ayúdanos a poder vivir con tu espíritu, Padre, y te damos todas nuestras angustias, todas nuestras malos pensamientos y todo lo que ahora tenemos y venimos ante ti que están mal en nosotros. Te pedimos que nos quites todo eso, porque solo tú puedes hacerlo, mi Padre Celestial, mi Padre Eterno. Con el poder del Espíritu Santo, te damos toda la honra, toda la gloria y todas las gracias a ti. Y te pedimos que nos ayudes en nuestro diario vivir, que comencemos derecho con esta semana que comienza ahora. Y mañana te pedimos también por esta semana que se nos viene. Y te damos todo a ti, a tus pies, te los ponemos y levantamos tu nombre en lo alto. Y te pedimos todo esto en el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. Amén. Entonces, empecemos. Espérense que esto siempre se me pone. Entonces, ok. Hola, que el volumen esté bien.
He was a minister, a poet, a lover of words and freedom. He was a family man, a talented speaker, a seeker of truth and justice. He met every challenge he faced, and by the time he went home to the Lord, he was already an American icon. He was Martin Luther King Jr., and this is his story. He was born Michael Luther King Jr., but had his name changed to Martin later in life. His grandfather and father were pastors of the Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta. The family legacy served there since 1914. And from 1960 until his death, Martin Luther King Jr. acted as co-pastor alongside his father. Martin attended segregated public schools in Georgia, graduating from high school at the age of 15 after skipping 2 grades. He was a talented young man, receiving his Bachelor of the Arts degree in 1948 from Morehouse College, a distinguished institution in Atlanta, which both his father and grandfather graduated from. After 3 years of theological study at Crozer Theological Seminary, which he was also elected the president of, he was awarded Bachelors of Divinity in 1951. He then enrolled in graduate studies at Boston University and received his PhD in 1955. In Boston, he also met and married Coretta Scott, an intellectual and artistic young woman. They bore 2 sons and 2 daughters. In 1954, Martin Luther King Jr. became pastor of the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama. He was a strong advocate for civil rights in the black community. He held a position in the executive committee of the NAACP, the leading civil rights advocates at that time. As a member, one of his tasks was to organize the first great civil rights protest ever to occur in United States contemporary history. This was a 382-day-long bus boycott in Montgomery, Alabama. For at the time, people of different races were not allowed to ride in the same sections of the bus, and sometimes not even on the same buses at all. The boycott would prove to be quite effective, for on December 21st, 1956, the Supreme Court of the United States declared unconstitutional all the laws requiring segregation on buses. During this boycott, King was arrested. His home was bombed. He was subject to personal abuse, but at the same time, he emerged as a hero in the civil rights community. Martin Luther King Jr. is not just famous, however, for his "I Have a Dream" speech. What is the most outstanding is he based his entire model for the nonviolent movement on his experience as a Christian minister. He led massive protests that caught the attention of the entire world, all stemming from his belief that all men are created equal under God. Before a crowd of nearly 250,000 people, he made a proclamation. And that proclamation was that we should not be judged by the color of our skin, but rather by the content of our character. And his character was one of greatness, one that will be remembered in the history books as a man beyond reproach. A man who received the Nobel Peace Prize at the age of 35. A man who has given distinguished honors from leaders all over the world. A champion for the rights of those who have none. Would that he were with us today, but alas, it is not so. A sniper ended his life on April 4th, 1968, as he was standing on the balcony of his motel room in Memphis, Tennessee. But though the man died that day, his legacy lives on. It lives on in the hearts of those who are like-minded, Christ followers, seeking true equality. Not the fraudulent equality that puts one above another, but a truly colorblind equality, and one that values each person as a child of God. And as children of God ourselves, we must do all that we can to make sure that his dream is upheld and his legacy is not forgotten. That we too may join on that triumphant day in saying, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Okay.